Hi.
Hi.
Guess what?
Hello, cat.
Guess what also?
Other cat.
And
Let's
guess what? Guess what?
go.
One
Save
more.
time. Dog. This is the best day ever.
I know.
So, you'll have to
I
remind
like
me,
your
has it
shirt.
been, thank you. Has it been 1 or 2,000 years since we last spoke? It's a little fuzzy.
At least one, but it very
Yeah,
well could be two.
maybe two, maybe like
Mhm.
1,500, maybe.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah. Remind me how these things usually go.
I'm actually not sure. I think we start with a prayer. And then we talk about a movie. We try to figure out some sort of letters standing for other things. Not sure what that's
Okay.
about. And then,
What?
yeah, that's pretty much it.
Well, I have a few of the letters picked out actually, because I was
Okay,
thinking about it during the time that I had before you logged on. I
sick.
opened a Sudoku, but instead of actually doing it, I was thinking about a movie.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Nice. That's a good strategy.
I know. I didn't get much done of either one of them.
Yeah. I think honestly the best way you can like brainstorm for something fun is if you like open up something that you actually should be doing, like an assignment or like something for work.
That's
And
true.
that way your brain can immediately go to something else.
I'm trying to
So what were
find.
the letters that you came up with?
Oh, letters were as follows. Super space, like quote unquote super villain question mark, and then terrifying villain were the two that I came up with.
Okay. Super villain. Terrifying villain. The letter E and the letter M. I think
Okay,
we've
this
cracked
might.
it.
I think we have.
I think M could be for Metro Man slash Music Man.
I like that. Yeah, because it can't be Mega Man.
Ooh, that's
Glad we're.
way
I'm
too
glad we're
obvious.
in agreement. Yep,
Yeah.
I like that. This is dumb and maybe already covered with the Metro Man thing. I have never watched his videos, Markiplier, but I've
hmm
seen many
Should the
people.
M stand for Markiplier?
I was think, okay, this is dumber, but I was thinking the E should be for
E.
E. Yeah.
Markiplier E. I do know Markiplier E.
It's dumb and maybe inaccessible, but that was where
But
my
who
mind went.
cares? I feel like most of our references are inaccessible because we don't have like a core audience that are all from the same place and age.
Yeah.
Like if we were making cultural references that are specific to like people who are our age and grew up in like the northern United States, then we'd be like, awesome, we got it. But it's like middle-aged Indians primarily. So that's already there's a pretty big disconnect.
Right. Especially when we're
And then
not
it's
talking
like
about an Indian movie that can bring us
exactly
all together.
like we're
Yeah.
already talking about an American movie, not an Indian movie. So
Hmm.
there's that level of distance, and then there's also like just increasing.
All of the
I always
other.
think of Markiplier E. Always reminds me. Did you ever watch that Seth Everman video where he's doing LOVE, like the Nat King Cole song?
Oh, I feel like I have, but years ago. I haven't
But
thought
it
about
also
Seth
it
Everman in
ends with
forever.
E.
E.
It's just like the same. Anyway, it's so funny. I think it's like 1 minute long. It kills me. I can't hear that song or the letter E without Seth Everman in my mind.
E.
E.
Well, I'm glad he's in your mind because he's nowhere else.
Yeah, that's true.
I miss him.
Hi, Seth, if you're watching this.
Come back. Or don't if it would make you unhappy, but
Yeah.
at least let us know you're all right.
Just type I'm here. That's all we need to know. Uh, Okay, great. So it's super villain, terrifying villain, Markiplier E, Metro Man.
I'd
And what
already
else would we
forgotten
be
the
talking
plan.
about but
I
Megamind?
love it.
Welcome to Women in STEM.
Welcome to Women in STEM.
Woo!
Let's go.
Uh,
Today we're going to be talking about video movie of all time. It's a movie.
and it's a video movie because you watch it. It's not a film movie. It's animated video
It
movie.
is digital.
Think about that.
Um, I finally put this on Letterboxd yesterday because I don't know why, but to me it's okay. Let me just restart. All social media to me
Hi,
is
welcome to Women in STEM.
for all other social media is for other people to post and for me to look. And so I never
Mhm.
really post because that's just not my job.
Why
I'm
would
here
you?
to look at other people. Yeah. But
Hmm.
Jen is like religious about putting movies that she has seen into Letterboxd. And so I've started realizing, oh, I could start doing that just for me. So I could just type out all my thoughts. And then when people are like, what are your favorite movies? I just go to my Letterboxd.
You have
And
them
it's
there.
so easy. Yeah.
And when you're like, what have I even watched recently? It's right in there.
There. Yeah. I
Hmm.
love it. It's
And
good.
you
It's
don't
a good
have to
idea.
leave a review or a star rating if you don't
No.
want to. You can watch a movie that's pretty bad and just say, I watched this. I did
Yeah.
that the other day with that movie where Jennifer Lopez is Italian for some reason, and she's in love with blonde Matthew McConaughey. It's obviously not a good movie because she's not Italian and he's not meant to be blonde.
He's not meant to be blonde. As should be illegal. What is that? The Wedding Planner?
Yeah,
It's already not a good movie anyway.
there's moments where you're like, that's kind of funny, but for the most part, not that good. And it also is
Hmm
like weirdly like it feels racist that she's pretending to be Italian. Like at
Uh-huh.
first I'm like, oh, her dad's Italian, and then her mom is like from somewhere else. But then later
hmm
her mom is also Italian. I'm like, okay, you lost me. Like that's
Full
Jennifer
Italian?
Lopez.
Come on. Yeah,
There's
be
no
real.
way.
hmm
Yeah,
hmm I remember I watched half of that movie and I just have never been
yeah.
able to bring
There's
myself
so
to finish
many
it.
places in which the story could be better, and they just never did it. And you're like, ah, whatever.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
there's like
like
all these funny
how he's
moments, but
engaged
you're
to
like, I don't
someone
care.
else.
He's engaged to her client. And then she's like, I just won't say anything and I'll keep planning the wedding, very professional like. But
Hmm
then I don't know, it's so weird. And then like none of the she's gonna get married to somebody else that she doesn't love, and then he's gonna marry this woman that he doesn't love, but then it turns out that she doesn't love him either. But then it's like, so why'd they wait so long to have this conversation? They all break up on their wedding days. Why?
Yeah, that makes no sense at all.
You've been dating for years. Like this could have come up at any point.
Yeah, like maybe, hey, do you want to get married? Ooh, no, actually, I
Actually,
don't
let
think
me
I'm
think
happy in
about
this
that.
relationship.
Hmm.
Yeah. I I really don't love that in like if that trope comes up in any movie, they've pretty much lost me. Unless
Hmm.
it's you've
It's
got mail,
really
but they
rare. It's really rare that it's going to be a good situation in
yeah, that
which there's
they
two
have to
engaged
handle it
couples
well.
who, and I feel
Yes.
like it could have been the blonde woman who's going to marry blonde Matthew McConaughey could have fallen in love with the Italian man, and they just do a little swap. That could have been interesting, but they didn't
That's
do that.
cute. Yeah.
Oh well,
Like it could be
blonde
very
woman
clear
could
that
have
it's a
fallen in
marriage
love
of
with J-Lo.
convenience. Sure, that too. There are so many different
There's a
combinations.
lot of options,
Jennifer
and they just
Lopez.
went with like the
And
worst one.
unfortunately, Matthew McConaughey is blonde.
He's blonde, and it's like it's not even a good dye job. Like
No, it looks bad.
he's obviously not a natural blonde, but like not in
Yeah.
a cute way like Spike, you know?
Mm,
Like if he was doing like a full like bleach blonde, I want it to be obvious that I'm not blonde, that would be one thing. But it's not
those
obvious that
things.
he wants it to be obviously not his natural color. Like it looks like they're trying to make it
Yes.
natural, but it just doesn't work with his skin tone, and he looks
No.
bad. He looks
Yeah.
really bad. Matthew
Yes. And
McConaughey should
that's
be
Matthew
brunette.
McConaughey.
How can
Yeah.
you make Matthew McConaughey look bad? The answer is make him like a weird unnatural blonde. He's supposed to be brunette.
Yeah.
Like,
They
yeah.
should
I
be in
liked
jail.
he should be in jail. How could you do that to my boy? There's a scene that I like where I've been thinking about a lot. I've been ruminating on it because it's like bad.
Okay.
And it's been a while since I've seen a bad movie on purpose. So anyway, Matthew McConaughey, they're planning the wedding, but then the blonde fiance is out of town, so he has to be like the sole client with J-Lo, and she's like, I'm gonna be professional, whatever. But then anyway, he has this scene, he like walks her home and then he leaves, and then he comes back and knocks on the door and professes his love. And it's like obviously bad timing because he was literally just planning his wedding to another woman just now, like 10 minutes ago.
Hmm. Yeah.
And she is like, "What's wrong with you?" I was like, "Yes." I feel
Awesome.
like the movie could have been another option is like at the end of it, nobody's in love with anybody. And they all just
Yeah.
say, that was crazy. Like people are ridiculous and we all do crazy
Anyway.
things that are harmful to other people. Oops,
Hmm.
you
And
know?
sometimes, like you're about to make a really big life decision, maybe you're just panicking all of a sudden, and it feels real to you, but it's not like we're, random connection. The Decoy Bride with David Tennant. You ever seen it?
Hmm. We've talked about it before. When we were talking about
Hmm.
Gambit,
Oh,
maybe?
yeah, with the
Yeah.
bagpipes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cute movie. I don't know if it's good. I have not seen it recently enough to be able to tell. Um,
Hmm.
I love it. I love it so much. Um, one part of it, so we have the decoy bride, and I don't remember her name, and
Hmm.
she is kind of falling in love with David Tennant, who's supposed to be marrying another woman.
Sure.
Um, but the way they
Which,
do it in that
yeah, many
movie,
such cases.
many such cases, but and the way they do it there is David Tennant, and he's brunette,
Of
as
course.
God intended.
Because
Yep.
it's
Mhm.
weird for David Tennant to have any hair color except brunette because perhaps his natural hair color is brown
It
and it
is
just looks
brown.
nice
Yeah.
on him.
He's a brown-haired boy. It does.
Hmm.
He's a beautiful
Hmm.
person, and he looks beautiful with brown hair. Um, but the way they set it
Many
up in that
such
movie,
cases.
we're always saying this.
Stop making people blonde. It's weird.
So he is marrying Lara Tyler,
Oh,
and
yes.
she's like the most famous, most beautiful, most perfect woman in the world. And so
Of course.
he had never really super loved her, but she really liked him because she liked his books. And so he just felt
Hmm.
like, I mean, you'd have to be a crazy person not to,
Not to marry Laura Tyler.
yeah.
Hmm.
But he never really did love her, and it just they never really super clicked. But this is just what she wanted, and so he was like, okay, I guess this is what we're doing. Um,
Hmm.
and on the other end too, her not Laura Tyler, but Scottish girl is her ex-boyfriend is getting married on the same day, and then before the wedding, he comes up and professes his love to her and punches David Tennant, and then he's like, I love you. I don't love this other girl. And she's like, dude, calm down. Go home. Your wife needs you. And then
Hmm.
and then at the end of the movie, they're holding each other and they're like, hey, girl, we're here for you. We'll take you back to David Tennant. And it's like really cute because it was like, oh, yeah, no, she was right. He wasn't really in love with her. A big
Right.
dramatic love
He was just
confession doesn't
feeling
always mean
crazy.
anything. Yeah.
Hmm.
And like, oh my gosh, I'm getting married today.
The
Ah.
stress of the day, and you're like, oh, what if I'm making a mistake? What if I was supposed to be with that other person? But that's not like,
Mhm.
you don't have to decide, oh, I am supposed to be with that other person. I am making a mistake. It's just a little question
Yeah. Yeah.
that
And
you
with
can
David
think about.
Tennant, sometimes it's like, you don't even realize I just liked the way they set it up
Hmm.
in that movie. I like the way they did it in You've Got Mail. There are ways that you can do it right,
Yeah.
and the way is not
Just
to dye his
randomly
hair blonde.
make Matthew McConaughey blonde. It's bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, just on the subject of bagpipes, circling back just for a second, there's someone in one of my classes this semester who was saying that her dad really wants to have like a traditional Scottish funeral, like with the bagpipes and stuff, and he wants to be like dressed in the kilt and whatever. And we were like, is your dad Scottish? Like, is that part of his heritage? Did he ever live there? She said, "No, he's Japanese."
Awesome.
We were like,
That's so
"Okay, that's what I
funny.
thought." Because you look pretty Asian, but I was like, maybe, nope. Nobody in her family is Scottish. Nobody in her family has ever been to Scotland. He just really loves the aesthetic of a traditional Scottish funeral.
I mean, sure,
Yeah, I'm like,
why
why
not?
not? Yeah, this might as well happen. Like, sure. That was so funny. Also, her name is Leilani, which is a Hawaiian name, but she's not Hawaiian because she's Japanese. So there's like so
Leilani.
much going on.
Pretty
Yeah.
sure my mom had a cousin named Leilani.
Hmm. I think it's a pretty common Hawaiian name for people who are not Hawaiian to have.
Uh-huh, yeah.
Mhm.
It is a beautiful name. I
It
love
is.
like the
It's
the
really nice.
L's and the
Yeah.
yeah.
It's so like flowy. Yeah.
It is. Yeah, it feels like a um well, I can't think of anything right now. I had something,
Hmm.
but it's gone. So we're just not gonna
So we'll just leave it to Seth Everman to decide in the comments. That'll be good.
um look, I was gonna show you. I made it the font of the
What?
movie.
That's
Yeah,
like in the movie.
it's like in the movie.
That's so cool.
Um, so I wrote this in my letterboxd review. And many people know this, especially people who have known me for more than a week. I
Hmm.
kind of like this movie. I
Yeah.
watched it in theaters in November of 2010, the month it came out, and I could not stop thinking about it and never have. I have had this movie memorized line for line, beat for beat since I was 11 years old. It's never left me. I never want it to. I love it so much. It is the perfect movie. And that's all I have to say on the matter right now. I have two full pages of notes for later.
Okay. I was like, and thanks for being here. See you next time. You know what? I'll just start off by saying it's good movie.
And you're correct for saying that. Thank you.
Hmm. It's fun. It's like a really fun anti-hero story. It's like the initial premise is like pretty ridiculous because nobody would raise a child in a prison for some reason. Like that's just something that doesn't happen. But then it's like, well, it might as well happen.
This is America. He
And
landed in
it's
Michigan.
verisimilitude. It's like this is the way the world is, at least in this movie, if not in real life, and maybe in real life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
After a few years and with some time off for good behavior. And he's like 8.
Yeah.
He's
Time
got
off for
the
good
body chains on
behavior
him.
is, yeah. Time off for good behavior is super funny because like when children have good behavior, that's like, oh, he minded his manners and he did his chores. Like he's in prison. He's in federal prison. It's crazy. But that's just how they do things in Michigan. For any of our
And that
international
is
viewers
true.
watching, that's
That's
just
actually
Michigan.
really true. Yeah. Yeah. The other thing that I really liked, and another reason why this movie is so based, is because when he lands in the prison and he's just a little baby boy, and the prisoners are teaching him the way the world works, the differences between right and wrong, and
They have
right,
flashcards.
they show
Yeah.
him a cop and go,
No.
wrong, and then a robber, and they go, yeah, and they're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're right.
Mhm. And the whole theme of the story is like, well, who's the real villain? And like you might think that you're a bad person, but then you still have the potential to be a good person. Hmm.
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Hmm.
hmm Um, the one thing that I did this time around was I wrote down every line that made me laugh out loud because there were a couple ones that I had forgotten
Yeah.
about. And I say forgotten about loosely because obviously not really, but
Right, right. They're just not top of your mind.
yeah. So
Yeah.
we'll be I'll mention those as they come up. But
Okay.
okay, so I went through a little bit of backstory for the movie before we actually talked about it. Um, so Guillermo del Toro helped with finalizing the editing in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah. Yay.
So if anyone had any doubt that it was one of the best movies ever made, question not. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, famous friend of the channel, Guillermo del Toro. Yeah, we love you. Um, one of DreamWorks' lowest grossing films.
Terrible.
So, some mysteries have no answer. That's insane to
Mhm.
me.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. I think it should have
Really bad.
grossed $100 billion
Hmm.
every single day until now. I think it should still be making money.
Yeah, I think it should still be in theaters.
It should
It
just
should
be
just
one of
be
those
like
that's
just kind of the standard. Like you can see all these new movies that are coming out, or if you're like not sure about them, you can just watch Megamind because it's
you
always
can just go
there.
to Megamind
That
again.
would be
Yeah,
nice.
it'd be really good. They could even have like discount tickets, so you pay $5 to go see Megamind in theaters again. I would
Mhm.
do that weekly. I don't drink coffee. That's where my coffee money could go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. No, you wait, you're supposed to
Oh,
put that into buying a house.
oh, that's right.
What about your avocado
Well,
toast money? Huh?
about my mayonnaise money.
Hmm. Yeah. No, young people don't eat mayonnaise anymore. They eat exotic condiments like hot mustard.
Oh, the economy and such.
Totally.
Um,
Oh,
so what?
well, okay, so this is like not related to the movie, but it's related
Yay.
to the economy and such. One of my friends was planning on going home. She's from Washington, and she was planning on going home for her little brother's high school graduation in June, but she isn't like she doesn't have proof of residency in Idaho, so she hasn't been able to upgrade her ID to a star card. But then she
Mm-hmm.
also can't do it in Washington because she would have to fly to
To
Washington
Washington to get it.
first to get
Right.
it
Okay.
updated there. And
Uh-huh.
so she's like, so the option is like ride a bus for 26 hours
Oh my gosh.
or just like miss my brother's graduation. So that's probably what I'm gonna do, and then just wait until I go home for the summer and my mom can come and pick me up, and then I can get my real ID there because I'm
Hmm.
planning on going back to Washington. So like, why would I get Idaho residency for 1 year just so I can get the thing and then leave?
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
complaining about all this thing. She's like, it's just really complicated and it's hard to see like how how like needing a star card for domestic flights is really making anybody's life easier. It just seems really complicated.
Hmm.
And we were like, yeah, like that sucks. That's really hard. And then one other person was like, well, I mean, it's kind of useful because of all the immigration stuff. I was like, what are you
Wow.
talking about? Name a single person who's flown into the United States without a passport or a real ID. And then within the United States, just what, keep flying around domestically doing illegal immigrant stuff? I'm like, what are you talking about? It's such a non-issue. It's actually crazy that you would say that to this woman who's like, "What? I just have to miss out on this big family thing because I can't get there anymore."
Yeah, but thank goodness, because what if an
Because what if a
alien?
hypothetical Mexican somehow came into the United States and then was able to fly from one state to another without a legal passport? Who cares? I was like, what?
I've,
I don't see
I've
that
said
mattering at all. I don't think that it's really happening in these, hundreds of thousands numbers that people will claim. And I also
no.
think even if it was, who cares? Like genuinely name a difference that it makes in your life.
Yeah, 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 yeah. What is a so I've said this quite a bit is I have when I started this job, I was very concerned that maybe it would make me more conservative, like, being
Right.
in
Because
this
you're like around
area.
so much rhetoric and whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. The reality is it has radicalized me further. Get rid
Yes.
of the border.
I know. I'm
It
like,
is none
what
of your
purpose does it
business.
serve?
It
Who's
is
like, who's being so deeply harmed by the presence of somebody who was born somewhere else that we have to make things inconvenient for every citizen of the United States, no matter what? Like, what are
it's
you
the
talking
exact same
about?
principle of homeless people. No one is ever
Right,
allowed to sit or stand outside of a building ever, just in
right.
case.
Loitering is so bad and gross.
Right.
Because what
Uh-huh.
if they
Yeah.
also were poor? That would be disgusting. It's like, what are you talking about? Homeless people eat too much avocado toast, actually. That's the reason they
That's
can't
why they
afford to
don't
live
have
anywhere.
houses.
Yeah,
Unbelievable. Yeah, a bunch of
because
lazy.
of all their ridiculous $5 coffee trips. It was like, oh man, I just don't think that matters at all.
And
I
I
think the
know this
Border
is just
Patrol is a sham. Like, I think it's so stupid.
I still cannot believe that the wall was that's a wall,
That's crazy. We're li a wall,
an
like
actual, not a figurative,
like a
this is a literal,
physical
like a
border.
with
Like we're
steel.
constructing actually out of metal a super large wall to tell people you're confined to that area and we're confined to our area
Because we're so afraid of people that live 1 mile across an imaginary line that we drew in the
that
sand.
we made up.
We have to stop talking about this. I'm gonna start crying.
Crazy. And I was thinking
I
about the
like
other day too, when we were in like a ward missionary council meeting, I think, in Silver City. And somebody was talking about how, like, oh yeah, they're building the wall down there. That thing is ugly. I was like, I'm sure it is. I don't think that's my main concern about it, but yeah, I'm sure it is ugly. I'm sure it is an eyesore.
yeah.
Because you
On
know
top of
why?
everything else.
On top of everything else, it's also a huge steel construction, just blocking anybody's view of anything.
Uh-huh.
Because we hate just people who are 1 mile different from us. Like, what are you talking about?
hmm I uh, almost every single day I think about the Studio C sketch that was America is going through like a custody battle with its parents, Republican and Democrat.
Yeah.
I like it literally gets more and more relevant every single day, and it's so funny to me. But one of the lines is, "Okay, so what do you want?" Republicans like, "I want a wall on the border," and Democrats like, "Yeah, and I want legalized drugs." And the judge is like, "So a fence with holes in it?"
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, I do think that if we have a border wall, it should be a chain link fence, and people can just climb over it whenever,
like the
like
fence of
for fun,
like at a
like a
ballpark.
playground. Exactly.
Yeah, like a climbing wall.
Oh, wait, that's so fun actually. It should be a
We could
wall, but with like those little colorful handholds and stuff.
Yeah,
And there's
yeah,
like
and then
different grades so
we
people
could have
can
a
practice. They can
race.
get better at climbing.
Yeah, so people in Mexico and people on the US side can climb and they can race
Oh,
to the
and
top and ring the bell.
see who can illegally immigrate faster.
And
Oh
maybe they can
man.
maybe what the border patrol can do is walk along the top of the wall and they have like an elaborate pulley system where they lower down Gatorade and fresh snacks.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I would
Why aren't
work
we
for
in
Border
charge?
Patrol. I would work for Border Patrol if this was the border.
Jen turned to me the other day. She's like, "Oh, the DEA is hiring." And then she, I can't even explain to you the face that she pulled on me. Like, it's like half sneer, half smirk. I was like,
So
oh,
funny.
devil evil agency or something like that. That's
Yeah.
the worst. I was like, the bad guys in Breaking Bad. She said, and real life also.
Yeah. Jen. Oh
It's
my
so
gosh, it's
funny to see how
crazy.
she's like, I don't think it's me
Hmm.
that has like quote unquote radicalized her. But
Hmm.
when she first started working at this office, she would describe herself as a Republican
Right.
and like conservative. Uh, and now she's like, what if I'm walking around and someone like accuses me of being a Republican?
Oh, I hope me
I'm
getting
like,
ready for the day. Oh, I hope nobody thinks I'm a Republican. That's why I have like the sides of my head shaved, and I will often like when it's like when it's washed, it'll just like hang down all curly and cute, and then after a while, it kind of gets like flattened up. So I will purposefully like put barrettes in my hair
so it gives me the
because
shape
I just feel
fits.
like it's a signal, and it shouldn't be because it's
Hmm.
like weird. Anybody could have any hairstyle they wanted, but
Hmm.
usually that's not the case. And if you have even like a slightly edgy hairstyle, it
Hmm.
says something about you.
Yeah.
So mega mind.
So mega mind. Unlike the world that we live in,
Mega mind is good.
well, my is good. And maybe the world that we live in isn't so bad because it's the world where Megamind is real. It's here in our
Yeah,
lives right now.
it was created in the United States of America. And that's
Yes, it
crazy
was.
if you think about it.
Yep. And
Yeah.
get this, it was originally pitched to be a live action film.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That would have been
So
not as good.
no,
That's what
it's
I
like
think.
that the the society if meme, except it's all on fire and
But
evil.
yeah. Yeah, it's really
Even
bad.
more so than it already is if Megamind had
Yeah.
been a live action film. So it lets everyone just take a moment and count our blessings. It's
It's
animated. And
animated.
not only is it animated, it's beautiful. They
It's
had an
really
entire crew dedicated to animating capes. And they would, in real life, wear capes and go ziplining and skydiving
to see what it's
to see
like.
what it's like.
Ugh.
Yeah. Yeah. They did that.
Yeah. I love movies.
Yeah. They're wonderful.
Yay.
Oh my goodness. It's so good. Originally, also, they wanted Roxanne to be hit with the DNA ray gun,
Mhm.
and that could have been interesting. This
Interesting.
thing that I read is kind of fun. Is Megamind is only 5'5".
Whoa, Short King. Let's
Short
go.
king. Uh-huh. Yeah. His head
That's
is like
sick.
five. His head is like this big.
His head takes up
He's only
one
five foot
fifth of
five.
his height.
Yeah.
That's
The
awesome.
thing said he has the same head to body ratio as like an infant,
Yeah.
and that's
Go like this. Yeah.
um this thing I thought was really fun was famous enemy of the channel, Roger Ebert.
Hmm.
He gave the
Very
movie three.
occasional good take. Usually pretty bad takes.
Yes, yes. He famously said that Home Alone wouldn't last the ages.
Hmm. Look who was
History does
wrong.
not look kindly upon him. That's all I'm saying. Um, he gave it 3 out of 4 stars, which, first of all,
Who rates
three
things
out
on
of
four
four?
stars instead of five? So
What
stupid.
is wrong with you? What
I
is
would
wrong with
like it.
you?
I would like it if, first of all, I liked him better, and also if it was like he gave every movie its own ranking system. Like this one, I gave
Oh, out of
three out
the
of four
seven
stars, and
stars?
then this one I gave like eight gummy bears out of nine. And you know what I mean? Like, just give it, make it kind of like random and arbitrary. That would be better.
That could have been good if he
Yeah,
was good, but he's
but if you're using the same ranking system for every movie, why not just use the same ranking system as every other people who rates movies and do 5 stars?
right. 5 stars.
That's the
Like
standard. That's what
universal.
everybody does. Yeah, but he has to be
I
so special and
Yeah,
incorrect
all
and
the
make it out of
time.
four.
Yeah,
Like
I hate this
so
guy.
much of the time.
yeah, he could suck a rock. The only thing that he liked that he the only opinion of his that's good was he was like, the mummy's not really that good, except for you have fun every single second of it. And like,
Hmm.
yeah, except it is
Fact.
good and you
Yeah.
do have fun. Like
And you do have
he
fun. Like at least he
yeah,
had fun.
at
Because he
least he
didn't
had
seem
fun.
like a
That's
very fun person
no,
in
he
most
does.
of his reviews.
Yeah.
So it's nice that he
How do
could
you
let
not
loose a
like
little
Home
bit.
Alone? Yeah, yeah. At least if anything was able to reach through to that cold, dead heart. I'm glad it was the mummy. Um, yeah, so he gave it 3 out of 4 stars, uh, saying that it was quote amusing but recycled with bits from other more successful films like Despicable Me.
Killing myself.
I know, like I felt like I was gonna
No!
throw up.
Listen, no
Recycled?
disrespect, no disrespect to our personal friend Steve Carell. Despicable Me is fine. The franchise
It's
is not good.
no.
And I don't know how you can say that Megamind is recycled material from Despicable Me when actually like the whole idea of like an antihero was was known before Despicable Me.
Yeah, it
It's not like
didn't
they were the
invent
first
it.
people to do it and then Megamind was the second. It's actually
No.
happened for a long time. So you can't be like, this really guy who's only seen Despicable Me. Megamind really? Like, come on.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah,
and like I just no one has ever had an original thought.
right.
So to say this movie
Because of
has
how
elements
everything
that
we
are
do is
also
informed
seen,
by some other thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you can't say, oh, it's good, but it reminded me of this other thing. Maybe we can just all agree, maybe we're all just holding hands and sharing ideas. What if
Right, right,
Despicable Me and
right.
Megamind held hands?
Like it was good
And one is
except it
better.
reminded me of something else. What if it was good because it paid homage to something else? Like, why can't we just be like a little bit happier about things sharing ideas?
Yeah, The Lion King was fine, except it, had elements from Hamlet.
Okay, as
Okay.
if things that have elements of Hamlet are bad, Hamlet is notoriously good. Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I feel
Hmm.
like if he had seen Bahubali or Triple R, he would have just exploded.
Yeah.
And maybe that would have been better. I don't like this guy. So that's that on that. This is
Hmm.
a fun tidbit that I liked was Peter Dinklage and Jason Bateman were both considered for the role of Megamind. And I think that Peter
Hmm.
Dinklage could have done well in that role. I do not think that Jason Bateman could have done well in that role because he is like David Spade, where every single thing he says just
He
oozes
sounds
irony.
like Jason Bateman.
Yes, he does.
He sounds like
Yes,
Jason Bateman. Like he just
yes,
always, he sounds like himself.
yes, yes.
And I
And
don't
he's
think
just sarcastic.
Megamind's too like campy and
Yeah,
sincere to pull off. Yeah,
exactly.
I can't
Yeah.
really see that working.
No, no, no. You can't like Jason
Yeah,
Bateman as the fox in that one movie about
perfect.
propaganda.
Sure.
That yeah,
Yeah.
good. And I
Hmm.
liked him in that role. And if the movie had been different, I would have really liked it a lot more.
Yeah.
Um, he's Jason
Can I
Bateman. He
tell you
can't.
what's crazy about that movie too?
What?
In the UK, it's called Zootropolis.
What?
Why would they change the name of the movie?
Why?
It makes me so mad because it's like Utopia. It's Utopia for animals, Zootopia. Zootropolis has nothing to do with anything. Made me so mad.
Why do they have to do this?
Zootropolis? What's wrong with you?
Well, I don't get them at all. I don't understand.
It's not even
It's
a
just
pun
it's
then. They could have
no,
called
and
it anything
it's
at that point.
English. It's not
They
even like
could
it's a
call it
translation of
anything.
another thing. It's
Right,
the
right.
same language we're
It's the
speaking.
same pun. It's the same pun. Utopia. Zootopia. It's a utopia for animals.
It's genuinely shocking to me how England managed to be like this global empire for so long when they're so stupid.
So stupid.
I say again, hundreds and thousands? Bet you mean
Sprinkles.
sprinkles? Because you
Hundreds
sprinkle
of
on top of
thousands,
things.
hundreds of thousands. I think what throws me off is that it sounds like Good and Plenty, which is like those little licorice candies.
Yeah, yeah,
So I think they should be licorice candies, but they're not. Sprinkles.
yeah. Oh, sprinkles. That sounds good. Because it's still stupid.
Yeah. British English and American English are like at this point technically not the same language,
No.
but like but they're close enough. It's like, can't you just let it slide? Zootropolis,
Oh my
which is
gosh.
like
I just perfect comparison here. Okay, in the movie Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, they have that bit at the end where they're going they're showing Sam Sparks's broadcast in a bunch of different countries. And so that has she says in a town that is truly a la mode and she catches a scoop of ice cream out of the air.
sure.
Um and in all the different countries they have that exact same joke, but then it shows the British translation and it's a lady with a British accent this time. And is it in a town that is truly topped with ice cream?
It's exactly
That's
that.
it. That's it.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Oh, they're so dumb. Yeah. So Megamind
The Megamind. Now that's a good movie. And
is a
Jason Bateman's not
good
in it.
movie. No, he's not. You know who is? Brad
David
Pitt.
Cross. Brad
David
Pitt!
Cross. David Cross.
Let's go! Oh, it's a good movie.
It's so good. The cast is perfect. You've got
Mhm,
Will Ferrell as Megamind, and I didn't know for
of course.
years that it was Will Ferrell because I don't know
Mhm,
why, but when I was a kid, I had like this weird aversion to Will Ferrell. I hated him,
mhm.
and I didn't know
Well, he's
that he was
scary.
Megamind. He, and he's just kind of loud and annoying, and I just didn't really like it. I, but when I found out he was Megamind, I was like, man, I've really got to reconsider some things here. It's a
I've
total
got to
paradigm
open up my
shift.
mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
Get
immigration
Tina.
is fine.
Oh my gosh. Tina Fey is in this.
Tina
J.K.
Fey, isn't it?
Simmons.
Hmm.
Name a bad movie that he's in. Can't. It's impossible.
Hmm. I also
Yeah,
haven't seen that many.
I haven't also. He's in Gravity Falls, I can tell you that. But it's not a
There you go.
movie.
That's not a
Yeah.
movie.
No. Um, David Cross.
David
I
Cross.
love him so much. That man's a voice actor.
Yeah. And a comedian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love yeah, so good. And he's not even like he's Minion, so he's not the main character. He still has a very major role, but like
Right.
steals the show.
Hmm.
I just,
Had Roger Ebert ever heard the word minion before Despicable Me? Because that might be his issue. He thought
There's
minion is
no
a
way to
word that
know.
was invented for Despicable Me.
He's like that thing's not yellow and little.
Why would you go? Obvious recycling.
Three out
Down
of
one star
four.
for some reason. What do you mean
Does
by
it?
that? Is that 4 out of 5? Is it 3.5 out of 5? Like, just make it out of 5. I don't understand a 4-star system,
No,
but
it makes
everyone
no
else has
sense.
agreed on a 5-star system.
I just
What the hell?
it's just weird enough that it just throws
Hmm.
everything else off.
Hmm.
And
There's something so wrong with him.
yeah, no, not in a sexy way.
Yeah.
That's all my trivia facts from the movie. And now, if
Okay.
you want, we can talk about the actual plot of the movie.
Yeah, I think let's get into it.
Yay. Okay. So, for any of you who hasn't seen it, please do. It's
It's
good.
showing in every theater, no matter what, for cheap.
For only $5.
If only.
Oh, Society if. Okay, my favorite thing, I love this and I don't see it often enough. I love it when stories start with a here's the summary of the movie that happened. Like it starts near the end and then the whole movie is like a flashback to see where we get and then we catch up
Here's
at
how
the
I
end.
got here. Yeah,
Yeah, I love that because it's I went to jail, lost the girl
fun.
of my dreams, and got my butt kicked pretty good. And then you're like, ooh, well, now I
Why?
get to see how all of these things happen. And
Hmm.
that's fun. That's really good.
That's really good.
I like that a whole lot. I'm just gonna go through really quick and circle all of the things, the points that I made that are quotes.
Okay, and that way you can differentiate them from your other
Yeah.
points. Got it. Got it.
Yes. Yes. I also really liked I really like unreliable narrators and
Hmm.
this one's really fun because sometimes the things that he says are fun, but then the reality is really sad. And then sometimes the things that he says are really sad, but then it's just stupid reality. And I just
Yeah.
think I think it's really funny and I love unreliable narrators a whole lot.
Hmm. Everyone hated me. Hey, Goob, you want to go play baseball after school? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He makes it seem so sad, and then the reality is just like pretty regular, actually.
Yeah, yeah. Or when it's what is he says he'd already amassed a gigantic army of soft-headed groupies and it's just a like a kindergarten class.
Yeah, it's just like a couple kids. Yeah.
But then he says
Soft-headed creepy.
soft.
That's
Oh my gosh,
crazy.
I too would make this popped corn and win over those mindless drones. And then he's like, he's just got his tiny little baby kid face. He just wants to make
Hi.
friends. He
And
wants them to
he's
like him
just a
so
little
bad.
boy.
He's so little and he's got rosy pink cheeks because he is just so small.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, uh-huh. Um, I wrote down for that whole scene, it's just an autism speed run because that's he's like, oh, I'll make popcorn. That's how people relate to other
That's what
people.
people like.
But then
Hmm.
when he makes it, everyone yells at him and it's not the right way. And
Right.
he doesn't really know why it was different
Because
that
nobody
time.
explained it to him. They just yelled at him for not already
Yeah.
inherently knowing.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
because of how he grew up in a prison.
Yeah,
He
he
grew
did.
up in a prison.
He grew up in a
From a
prison with
baby.
50 inmate dads. Yay.
Yay. Oh my gosh.
His
And
prison
the line,
polycule that raised him.
aw. Oh my gosh. The line even fitting in wasn't really an option. And then they have the school picture of Metro Man with everybody around him and then Megamind off to the side with just Minion in his hands. That almost makes me cry for real. That's so sad.
It's really sad.
So this is the greatest movie of all time. Um for a couple different reasons. First reason being that it's so funny. It's
It's
so
very
funny.
fun.
I cannot tell
Yeah.
yeah, I can't emphasize this enough. It's a funny
When
movie.
you're watching it, you'll be having fun and laughing.
Yes, you will. And if you're not, I'm sorry that's a skill issue.
Hmm. So true.
I'm sorry you don't have a sense of humor, and I'm sorry that you're not a fun person to be around.
Yeah.
Die alone. Much like everything DreamWorks does, it's a subversive masterpiece. Like
Hmm.
Shrek is the perfect subversion of fairy tale tropes because
Hmm.
they make it with a clear love for the genre. It's a fairy tale thing, but a lot of the tropes are just kind of turned upside down, but still in a it's still a happy ending. So
Right.
it's a fairy tale still. It's just an unexpected one. It's just a really good
Hmm.
turning it upside down unexpectedly. And this is the same with a superhero movie. It's just
Right.
what if Lex Luthor beat Superman?
Right. Right.
What
Right. Like, oh, what if it's a superhero movie, except we just change the villain to be the hero? Easy. It's a
hmm
fairy tale, but we change the ogre to actually be the main character and the hero, you know?
hmm Yeah, Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Um, and it's so somebody dies in the first 20 minutes of the movie,
Mhm.
which is awesome. And I remember so distinctly watching this in theaters and thinking in my head, what the hell? Because they can't do that. This is a kid's movie, and that's a skeleton,
Mhm.
and somebody just died, huh? And not in a dramatic. Well, it's kind of dramatic, but not in a weighty death of a human person kind of a way. It's just kind of a
Right.
campy, like, oh no, now a supervillain's in charge kind of a way. It's not
Right.
really taken
Right.
so seriously, which is fun. So they keep the mood up.
Because they're really just like setting the scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Megamind is a supervillain, and he has broken out of prison and kidnapped someone and killed the superhero. He's taken over the city. And um this the first
And he
20 minutes
pronounces
tell
it, by
you
the way, metrocity, so that it rhymes with
atrocity.
atrocity instead of
Yeah,
Metro City, which is a stupid name because that's
it
you're
is.
saying the same thing twice, but it's funny. So,
Yeah, and it's set in kind of the same cadence as Metropolis, like Superman. That's where he lives. Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah,
Or Zootropolis.
Zootropolis.
Yeah.
And
Because
so
it's
the
not a
first tw
utopia, it's just a regular town.
it's just, and maybe that is funny.
hmm
Maybe they're like,
But it's
we
just
know
like, why
better.
have, yeah. They're like, the pun doesn't even work because it's not that great of a place.
Funny,
We're
very
just gonna
good.
call it Animal City.
The good thing they have panel shows. One of the many good things about Megamind is it the first 20 minutes sets up everybody's dynamic really, really well. Like everyone hates him, but it's kind of in a fun, like theater villain kind of a way where he comes up on
Mhm.
stage and everybody boos and he thrives on it. Yay, pay attention
Yeah.
to me. And when Roxanne gets kidnapped, they take the bag off her head. And I love this line so much. It might be my favorite line in the movie. She says, this is one of her first lines in the movie, her first line interacting with Megamind. She says, would it kill you to wash the bag? Now, have you ever heard a line that so succinctly summarizes a relationship with two people
Right.
so perfectly? This is a
Uh,
regular thing.
hmm
He always puts the bag over her head, and the
As if
bag is
she's not gonna
stinky.
know what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would it kill you to wash the bag?
Right. And
I
she doesn't
love
take him
that.
seriously as a bad guy because he's always
Hmm.
defeated.
Yeah.
And they can like they have a little like back and forth rapport, which is awesome.
Yeah. And it's like,
Because
hello.
it's kind of bad to watch movies where like the hero and villain don't have banter. You're like, what's the point?
Exactly. Yeah. And this movie knows that.
Hmm
The warranties are invalid if you don't use the product for its intended purpose. Come,
Funny.
come on. Come on. So funny. So good. And then Roxanne has her like I love Roxanne so much. She holds her own in the narrative and it like she's as much a player in this as Metro Man. Like it's not just oh, I'm gonna use Roxanne to get to Metro Man. It's yay, I get to go kidnap Roxanne.
Right.
And this is just like how the game is played. These are
hmm
the she's the Lois Lane, he's the super like we know
Yeah.
this, you know? But like you said, she doesn't take him seriously, and she just kind of she's like, okay, it's Tuesday. I guess I'm getting kidnapped. I'll have fun with this.
hmm hmm
Yeah, she's awesome. I love her so much.
Her name is Roxanne Ritchie, so that's
Yeah, it
pretty good
is.
too. Another thing that I hated about that Jennifer Lopez movie, her best friend character is played by the same woman who plays Kitty on Arrested Development.
Hmm.
Um, and her name is Penny Nicholson. I was like, what is wrong with you? Penny Nicholson.
What's her middle
She has a
name?
brother
Dime.
named Dime. And again, I wouldn't mind it if the whole tone of the movie was like funny and the characters had names that were like too on the nose, you know?
Hmm.
But because it's not that good of a movie, I was like, Penny Nicholson,
Come on.
kill yourself. What are you talking about?
Did
Yeah.
no one realize? Like, was that truly unintentional? It just
Right.
slide
Like,
under
was
the
it meant
radar?
to be a joke? Or like, was it not meant to be a joke? They were just like, oh, that sounds really nice. And like, it didn't click that they were saying Dime Quarterson. Like, I don't know.
Oh my gosh, that's a joke. I do like
Penny
that
Nicholson.
actress though.
Yeah.
She's not in enough things anymore. She used to be in a lot of things. She was in
Used to be in thing.
13 Going on 30.
Yeah.
That's a good
Movies
movie.
movies used to have her in them.
Yeah, they did, and you could tell it was gonna be pretty good. Unless it was
Hmm.
this one and her name was Penny Nicholson.
And this was The Wedding Planner with Italian J-Lo and blonde Matthew McConaughey, and everybody makes just like terrible decisions over and over again.
Sad,
Not
and
to
they're
the
mean to
point where
each
you're
other.
like, ooh, uh-oh, conflict, just to the point where you're like, everyone here should move to a different place in the world. Like nobody should be even close to each other anymore.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
I think that the best thing that the wedding planner did for society is there's this one office blooper that always makes me laugh. Is Dwight, and he's like, I've never planned a wedding before. Moses and I did some research. We've rented a movie with about a wedding planner who has an enormous dumpster or something stupid, and he keeps breaking. He can't get through the line because it's ridiculous.
That's, that's pretty funny.
Like, I like
Yeah.
that. As for everything else,
Not that good
we
of
should
a
all
movie.
just forget it ever happened.
Hmm.
Hmm.
The
But
only
you know
reason
what?
to watch
I
it would be like, you know that tweet that's like, why does a movie have to be good? Is it not enough to see a beautiful face huge? Like, that's the reason to watch it. Matthew McConaughey doesn't look good in the movie because they made him like bad blonde, but JLo's
Yes,
beautiful in the movie, so that's
she always
something.
is. She's a pretty
Hmm.
person. Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah. Tragedy upon tragedy. It's really
And I
sad.
do actually like, I don't know why I'm wasting so much time talking about this movie. So Megamind.
Yeah.
We've gotten
Again,
some of the
this is
characters. There's Megamind, there's Metro
yeah.
Man, there's Roxanne Ritchie, there's Minion,
Roxanne Ritchie.
who's
Minion.
David Cross as a fish in a bowl on top of like a robot that he can move around.
Robot gorilla suit. And
Robot
they
Gorilla
just
Suit.
never address it.
Robot Gorilla Suit fish in a bowl. Voiced by David Cross, and you're like, okay, awesome.
It's like that Mad
And
Max
like,
Fury Road tweet.
how
Imagine
does
a
it
guy
move?
looking at this and saying, "Nah, I'm good."
Right? Like, what's wrong with you? And how does the suit move? Like, how does he control it with
Yeah.
his mind? How did it's like really advanced technology for what we're doing here.
Yeah, for real. He could have done that for like anything, but it's just his fish.
A
It's just
fish
his
is like
friend
the hardest
who's a
thing
fish.
to get something that can like follow its movements because it's a fish.
Uh-huh. Stick him in a gorilla suit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and why
And at
not?
the end of the movie
And
too, we
sometimes he
see
wears a little apron on it.
yes, he does. He's so good. I love this. Okay, this is the other thing that I love about this movie too, is you know that one tweet that's like, I love it when villains say it's a terrible day, but they mean it's actually a really good day because they're villains,
Right.
and so they say.
They're like
And
using
so
opposite words. Yeah.
yeah, and he says, "How do I look, minion? Do I look bad?" And he's like, "You look disgustingly horrifying, sir." And they're like, "Yay, we're evil."
Yeah.
So this is a movie of all time. And Roxanne, she's like, "Can someone stamp my frequent kidnapping card?" And he's like, "We discontinued that promotion. We discontinued that promotion.
Oh, it's so
We
funny.
had a
Like,
frequent
haha,
kidnapping
funny
card."
joke. But we don't do that anymore. Keep up, Roxanne.
So Minion is in a gorilla, a robot gorilla suit, and that's
Hmm.
good. And then we
Naturally.
also have Hal the cameraman. Hal works with Roxanne and is in love with Roxanne
Hmm.
in the creepiest way.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
that's all the characters. So Metro Man defeats, no, Megabyte defeats Metro Man with a death ray that
Hmm.
has to warm up. Sorry, I'm watching the movie in my head. I've got to stop.
Yeah. And like
Um,
we said, it is a fun movie that will make you
it's
have fun and laugh.
you will enjoy it for sure a lot. Yeah. So Megamind blasts a death ray that kills Metro Man, and then in the explosion, you can see Minion's skeleton illuminated against the explosion, and that's really fun and good. Um,
Yeah. Because he's just a
and
little fish.
he's a little fish, and he's mostly mouth and eyes.
Hmm.
Where's the skeleton? He's just a little guy. And there's also a split second where Minion says fire and then nothing happens. And we see there's just a split second where one single frame Metro Man flashes and then it's back. And if you're an eagle-eyed viewer, you might think, ah, mistake. But actually it's a secret mouse tool that will help us later. Yay.
Yay.
Um Also, when Metro Man is trying to escape the dome that's lined with copper, and copper drains his powers, he can't break through the dome.
Hmm.
And you can see in the background the dome denting from the impact. And that's animation, baby. They
Hmm.
did that on purpose. And we noticed. It didn't go unnoticed. They did that on purpose for work and then we caught it. So good job,
Hmm.
animators.
And we were like, good job. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we did. So Metro Man is dead and Megamind won and did it, and so now he's gonna take over the city. But it's pretty clear when he's doing it that he doesn't have a plan. He doesn't have an
Right, right,
overarching
right.
goal that he's working towards. So he's like, I mean, everyone just keep doing what you're doing, and I will get back to you. And so he
Hmm.
takes over City Hall and goes on a kind of evil rampage. He paints City Hall blue, which looks like the temple in Tucson, Arizona, and it looks better.
Hmm.
Looks better that way. I think we can all agree. But then after a very, very quick 2 second montage, he's bored and listless and
Yeah.
melancholy.
He's unfulfilled. Yeah, and melancholy, totally.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Because a funny
And
thing about him is that he mispronounces some words.
he does. Yeah,
Hmm.
a lot of them. Like metrocity, atrocity.
Yeah, melancholy.
Yeah, shul.
Yeah, shul. My old
Hmm.
shul. He says
um,
Olo instead of hello. And if
mhm.
you were also in middle school at the time that this came out, you know that every child would start every conversation with Olo
Hello.
for like
Yeah,
5 years after this movie came out.
yeah, they did.
Hmm.
Because that's the thing about this movie is it's quotable, baby.
Quotable.
It changes your life for
And it
better or
has
for
jokes
worse.
that are funny for grown-ups, like, oh, we discontinued that service. But then also has jokes that are funny for kids, like, Olo. Sir, I think you mean hello.
Oh,
Hello.
hello, like that. Funny. That's good. That's
Funny.
really good. Yeah.
It's
Um,
fun for all ages.
it is. Yeah.
Hmm.
The whole family can enjoy, which is the point of a family movie. But you know,
Hmm. That's what I've heard. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know how much stock I'd really place in that, but I believe you, I guess.
Thank
Okay, I'm
you. I'm
still
a
listening.
trustworthy person. Okay. Megamind is upset and sad and has no purpose. And so he goes to Metro Man's giant statue museum to say goodbye to him, to mourn his friend who he's killed. And he accidentally runs into Roxanne there. But oh no, he doesn't want to run into her like this. He's in his jammies. And so he scans the museum curator, whose name is Bernard, and he's voiced by Ben Stiller. Hi, Ben Stiller. We love you
Hi,
so
Ben
much.
Stiller.
And Ben Stiller, Roxanne says to Ben Stiller, you probably think I'm a little bit nuts. And he says, I'm not allowed to insult guests directly. And I love him so much.
It's so
I'm not
funny
allowed to insult guests
because
directly.
because
That's true.
they had a meeting about that.
Yeah. Megamind scans Bernard with his perfect wristwatch that scans other people's likenesses and is able to overlay it on top of your own. So he scans Bernard, transforms himself to look like Bernard, but he doesn't have time to record the voice of Bernard, so it's his own voice. And he's like, "Oh, I'm Bernard. Hello, Bernard." And so then him and Roxanne have a little chat, and he gets the idea accidentally from her that heroes can be made. I can
Mhm.
create my own new hero
Yeah.
to fight me
And then he'll have somebody to fight because that's where he finds real, purpose in his life.
and fulfillment. Yeah.
Yay.
So that's his plan. And you think, oh, well, perfect. He has the skeleton of Metro Man. He'll use that to make the DNA. No, he uses flecks of dandruff, which is kind of weird. Why would he use that if he had the whole skeleton? But it doesn't matter. We
Right.
won't, don't look too hard into that. He's got the flecks of
Yeah.
dandruff. He uses it to extract DNA and he puts it into an infuser gun. And he says, we're going to find the perfect candidate, one who puts the welfare of others above their own.
hmm
And then the cell phone thing, oh, low, hello? It
And
happened. It's
hello. That happens, and all the middle
it's so
school children
good.
clap and cheer.
Yes, as
They
they
say, I'm
should.
gonna say that at every party from now on. As is their right.
Um, yeah, it is because it's a funny line, funny movie, and sometimes things do get annoying if they're repeated over and over again. But that's not the movie's fault. The movie's flaw is that it was too good and it gave too much to us.
Oh, and it was too entertaining for children?
Okay,
Interesting. Whatever.
yeah.
No, that's fine. I'll probably say my biggest weakness is my strength. Like, come on.
Um, so Roxanne finds his secret hideout, Megamind's secret hideout, and in the kerfuffle, he accidentally shoots the gun and it hits Hal, the cameraman. Now we
Oh
haven't really
no.
talked about Hal, the cameraman yet, but
That's
he
because he's not
is,
really important until this point. He's just kind of
yeah,
like really awkward. He has a crush on Roxanne, but he doesn't handle it very well because he's like kind of gross, like
yeah, and really
incel
creepy about
blueprint.
it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mhm.
He invites her to a party that he's having at his house,
At her
and
house. That would be
her
funny.
house would be insane.
Hey,
Uh,
I was thinking of having a party. Did you want to go?
and she tells him no a couple of times and he doesn't
Mm,
really take her answer at
get the
face
hint.
value. Yeah, he
hmm
keeps inviting her and pushing her and he says, I also hired a wedding photographer. That's just in case like something crazy happened and we wanted to have it for like a memory, and it gets
hmm
like really intense, like a like a
Like, do you
memory.
get it? You're like,
And
whoa, hey,
he's really creepy.
he's pretty
um
freaky.
Yeah, and so she says no like three times, and he says, so that's a soft yes on Thursday. So he doesn't listen to her when she's talking. And then
hmm
after he's hit with the thing,
Up the
Roxanne hugs
nose.
Bernard, who's up the nose.
It's right in the nose.
They a bee flew up my nose. That's so good. It's so good. But Megamind is disguised as Bernard, and Roxanne hugs Bernard, and Hal says, that was awkward for everybody because you accidentally hugged him instead of me. So he, like, in his
Where
head,
my
he's
hug
placed
at?
himself.
Like for real?
Yeah, literally,
Yeah.
literally, exactly what you said. Incel blueprint. He
hmm
thinks he's entitled to a relationship with her, and she, in order to keep things professional and have a working relationship, can only really do soft nose and like
Right, because they
avoidance
still have to
tactics.
see each other all the time at work because they're coworkers.
Yes, exactly, exactly. Um, so now Hal is going to develop these superpowers, and Minion says, this is a bad idea. And Megamind says, yes, it's a bad idea for the good of evil. And Minion's like, no, that's not what I meant. It's
Not
just
that kind of
bad.
bad. Yeah. Yeah. Because of that thing earlier where they use bad to mean good because they're using opposite language. Oh, so funny.
Yeah, I like it so much. And uh, Megamind is convinced that this is fate. This was destined to happen. And Minnie is like,
Mhm.
we shouldn't be doing this. I'm gonna defuse him. Why must we insist on keeping it this way? Uh, but Megamind plows ahead with this idea, and they put on their disguises to train him to be the next superhero. And he disguises himself as a space alien. And House is here like my space stepdad. He's like, yeah, I'm your space stepdad. And then he turns to Minion and says, and you are what? And without skipping a beat, Minion says, I'm your space
Space
stepmom.
mom.
I had some work done recently, and it's just a fish in a robot gorilla costume with a wig on the glass
I'm your
and
space
an apron.
mom. And you're like, yeah,
Yeah,
this is a kid's movie.
yeah. I'm your
Yeah.
space stepmom. Thank you,
Mom.
David Cross, for delivering that
We
line
love
in
you,
that
David
way.
Cross.
I love it so much because this is like the Superman thing of like everyone would recognize him. It's just a pair of glasses.
Right.
And like Megamind has been terrorizing the city for decades. And you're telling me that he puts a wig on his fish?
Nobody can recognize that that's the minion from City Hall. It's the same.
That's the
Yeah.
guy. Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, that's that's Hal's space stepmom, I guess. Cool.
This is the perfect movie. So they decide to train Hal to be a superhero. And then in the meantime, Bernard and Roxanne are growing closer together because they're researching to try to
Uh-oh.
take down Megamind's plot. And she's like, I never knew you were so funny. And he's like, I never heard you laugh before because he's only ever kidnapped her.
Hmm.
Because he's not really Bernard.
He's not-
Megamind.
he's pretending.
Yeah.
Bernard has been
And
freeze dried.
because he has a gun to
Mhm.
to to dehydrate.
Because otherwise there would be two Bernards running around. Roxanne and Reggie
Yeah,
would get all confused.
she would. Yeah.
Can't have that.
But no, no. So real Bernard's out of the way. The other important thing about this watch that changes your shape is it doesn't change your eye color. So the real Bernard had blue eyes, I think. Maybe brown eyes. I don't remember. But this Megamind has green eyes. He's got bright green eyes.
Mhm.
And that always stays the same, always is when he's got green eyes. So you can never that's really Bernard. Yeah. So they're growing closer and he hands Megamind hands Hal it's so it's so small. I'll
He
tuck it
hands
into his
it
shirt.
basically like for a baby.
He's like, "Do I have a son?" His space stepdad would know. But also,
Right.
you can pretty much tell this guy's never had sex ever in his life. No
That's true.
way he's got a son.
That's pretty obvious.
No bitches.
Oh God. He's like, no, that what?
It stretches, dumbass. It's for you. He takes it in his shirt like a bib. This movie's so funny.
It's so
And so
funny.
he says, "What?" There's a T on it in flames, and he's like, "What's the T stand for?" And he says, "Titan, like a Titan." And
Yeah,
Hal's like,
like T
"Titan,
A, like listen to this.
uh,
Titan, like from Greek mythology, like
Titan of
Titan.
industry."
Yes.
Yep.
Or the thing is, it's also homophonic with Tighean. So he says your new hero name will be Titan, and Hal's like, awesome. Tigh to make something tighter. Awesome.
And he says this, it was the only name I could trademark. So tomorrow is the big fight, the big battle with Megamind. So Megamind and Minion are back at the evil lair, finishing up uh Megamind's most terrifying cape yet, and Minion's calling it the Black Mamba. Black Mamba. It's gonna be really cool. We haven't seen it yet,
Really,
but Minion's just
but
finishing
it's
up some
gonna be
alterations.
really.
It's gonna be
Mhm.
really cool. And Megamind's like, I've got to go. I'm running late. I have an errand to run. And Minion's like, I beg your pardon? You don't run errands? What's going on?
Mhm.
And he like, ah, you're in love with Roxanne Ritchie. It's amazing. He knows him so well.
Mhm.
Uh, and Megamind's like, no.
She's gross.
He's like, then why are you wearing cologne?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
got him. Yeah.
Yeah. So they have a fight. Minion's like, this is a bad idea. And I mean like a bad idea.
Mhm.
He's like, what happens when Roxanne finds out who you really are? And he's like, I'm only trying to look out for you. This is only going to end in hurt feelings on everybody's sides. And
Mhm.
Megamind is very short sighted and he doesn't want to let go of a good thing that he's got going right now. So he's like, I just don't care. I don't need you to look after me. Go. And this really hurts Minion's feelings because his only purpose in life is to look after Megamind. This is why
Mhm.
they've been best friends forever. This is all he's ever had. And he says, I don't need you. Get out of here.
I'd
So
like crying break. No.
I'll just pack and go. Got one thing.
Thing.
It's fish food. He puts it in a lunchbox. He slams the lid shut. I'll just pack my thing and go.
Thing. This movie is so funny.
It's so funny. It's so
Remember when
funny.
movies were funny?
I do. It's been decades. The other thing that I really like about this scene, aside from the fact that that's the funniest line that's ever been written in the history of mankind,
Just get my thing and go.
so good. Um, there's like real emotion there too, you know? Like
Yeah.
they're best friends. They grew up together. They were both like made fun of together. And Megamind is all about these big performative fights, these big witty battles, these big back and
Right.
forths. And Minion says to him, "Good luck on your date." Megamind says, "I will." That doesn't even make any sense. I know. And it's like that's funny. It's
Mhm.
funny. It's good. But also it's like, well, there's no wit there. That's a real fight.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not performative. That's not for anybody else. It's not
It's not like a
like
little back and forth
clever.
banter. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just they
That
for
he
real
doesn't
don't
really
know
know
what
what
to
to
say to each
say.
other. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And
Mhm.
it's just kind of sad. And now he's literally completely alone. He's always had Minion no matter what. And now he has driven him away. He goes to meet Roxanne. Um, and she's a little late for their date because she's back at the apartment trying to figure out Megamind's plan. And so Megamind has these dangly bits all hung up and she's trying to decipher it. And she realizes, wait, what's going on? So she backs up a little bit out of her balcony on her penthouse apartment
Mhm.
on a
Why?
reporter's salary. Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
And she leans back and she sees figure of a guy and then Titan. Titan. What's a Titan? And he shows up. Titan, Hal, shows up flying behind her. And he's like,
Mhm.
what is he? He says, I usually just figure criminals. You haven't been naughty, have you? And I love this scene so much because it's very clear, yeah, that she's
Yeah.
creeped out. And like superhero in like Spider-Man movies, when Andrew Garfield is stalking Emma Stone. It's like framed as like, oh, but they're meant to be together. It's cute, and she's not even really that mad about it.
Hmm.
Um,
And
but this
she's
one is
not
like,
mad
what
about it.
if she's not having any of it. He gets her. Well, first of all, I like this line. He's like, "What's your name?" Just kidding. I know everything about you. I brought flowers. I didn't know which ones you like, so I just bought all of them. You don't know everything about her.
Right. Well, he knows all
It's
the important stuff,
like
like
her name and her
her name
address.
and her address, and
Hmm
that she's really hot. So that's pretty much all you need.
Yup, apparently. So he's like, let's get to know each other and kidnaps her off the balcony, but this time in a really creepy way. She should be used to being kidnapped, but feels like with Megamind, it was all part of a show and she was in on
Hmm.
it. You could tell she liked
Right.
it.
And she was like safe and fine.
Yeah, she knew that Metroman was
Yeah.
or Megamind was never going to hurt her for real. They just kind of had fun together. This was uh like a play date kind of for enrichment every week.
Hmm.
And like um but now it's like scary. He's just snatched her off her balcony and is flying her around town and drops her on purpose, catches her and is like, I am such a good hero. And she's like, you are a lunatic, crazy person. Why would you do
Hmm.
this? And so he like throws her around town and flings her up and like, oh, this must be very thrilling for you. And she's like, because that's scary.
That's scary.
It's scary. And so she's like, put me down right now. And he says, okay, and flies her up to the tallest tower in the city. Not back to her apartment.
Hmm.
Why on the top of the building? And then she's like grabbing onto the pole, and then she's like, "Who are you really?" And immediately starts walking away from the pole. I'm like, Bestie, what are you doing? Stay
Hmm.
glued to that thing.
Stay,
I
hold
am
on
not
to
a fan
that.
of heights. Yeah, sit
Hmm.
down. What's going like she puts her back to the edge and backs up half the step. And even that is like too much for me. I start getting nervous sweats for her in this
Hmm.
animated cartoon movie. I don't like
Yeah.
heights. Freaks me out. So Hal takes off his mask and is like, I'm Hal. Now we can finally be together. And she's like, no, because of all the reasons that I've always had, but also because this is Megamind's plan. We need to figure out what's going on. He's done this to you on purpose,
Hmm.
but he's not listening to her beyond there is no us because he felt entitled to her because he's a bad guy.
Because he's a bad person, I would say. Kind of a
Yeah.
bad guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, once again, that thing of like, oh, the bad guy versus like an actually bad guy.
Yeah. And I love this movie too so much because it feels like every other piece of media that's ever been made, the nice guy is always rewarded.
Right. For being
Always.
so nice.
Yeah. Like Ross from Friends.
Yeah. Who has his moments, but then you're like, well, but no, that doesn't really make up for all that other stuff,
Yes, it
does it?
does. No, yeah, no, it does not. No. Yep, you're
Hmm.
correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
Ross, suck a lemon. I
Hmm.
don't like him. Don't like him. Don't like the guy from How I Met Your Mother. Anyone on that show, really.
And it's kind of a
Bad
terrible,
show. It's
they're all
awful.
bad characters. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And
And
not
it's
even
again like it
really in a
has its
funny way.
moments, but you're like,
Yeah,
I
like
don't think they make it
Community.
worth.
Everyone on that show is a terrible
Right.
person, and they
Everyone in
make
that
each
show
other
is
worse.
terrible, but it's fun.
Yeah, yeah, you like to watch them all. But
Hmm.
yeah, so Hal is a bad guy and a bad person, and now he has essentially unlimited powers. He leaves Roxanne up on the top of the roof, and it's like, how did she get down? I don't know, but that doesn't matter because like I actually do think about that at night. Like when I get to this part in the movie when I'm watching it in my head, I'm like, what did she do? She's stuck.
Mhm.
Like, did they have to call a helicopter? Did she have them drop her off at her date?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she goes to her date with Megamind, who's Bernard. Um and she finds out because she kisses him, but her hand brushes him off. Oh no. So
and
his
he changes
disguise goes
back to
away.
his true self, and they're both like,
Uh,
oh no, oops, oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's pretty funny, but then it gets real again, where
Oh
he's like,
no.
"You just said not to judge a book by its cover," and she's like, "I don't care that you're blue. You killed Metro Man. You
Right.
took
He's
over
like,
the city, and then you
oh,
tricked me. You tricked
okay.
me for months."
Hmm.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, there's some
yeah.
good points
And
there.
then he's like, "Oh
Oops.
no, oh,
Ooh.
um, do you really think that I would ever be with you?" Like, then she
Ooh.
realizes that he wasn't doing it on purpose to be evil. He really
Hmm.
did have feelings for her. And yeah,
Yeah.
just yeah, twist that knife.
Yeah.
Because
Oh.
she wouldn't be with him. Not the way he is.
Right.
He's evil. I like that.
And
I
he takes
love her.
pride in it, you know?
Yes, he does. Yeah.
Hmm.
But she really did fall for the guy that she thought he was, you know? So she's conflicted. She turns back and looks at him. It's a really sad situation. He goes back to the empty evil lair where there is no minion. So he doubles down. Yeah,
No.
he's gone. Minion's gone. Okay, all I've got now is my evil plan. I can do that still. I lost Minion. I lost the girl of my dreams. I got
Just
my
for
butt kicked pretty good.
hmm
Is that coming up?
like,
Maybe.
hang on a second. This is starting to sound kind of familiar, like from earlier when he was like, let me tell this story about when I got my butt kicked really hard.
Uh-huh.
And something about the girl of my dreams. Wait. Oh,
Coming together, baby. I've connected the dots.
you haven't connected shit.
So he gets his Black Mamba fit on, ready to go. He's got like platform boots that are like 4 inches tall. They've got spikes. They're neat. Like
Yeah,
he
because he's a
dresses,
diva.
he is a diva. He is a performer. He loves it. He's got the eyeliner on. He's got the cheeks patted down. He's got his head
Hmm.
buffed. Awesome.
Yeah, for that extra shine. Hmm.
Yeah. He goes to confront Hal, Titan, but Titan never shows up.
Oh no.
And after waiting all day long, Megamind finally goes up to his house. He's like, "This is unprofessional. Metro Man would never have treated me like this. He was a pro."
Yeah. Yeah. How dare
Yeah,
you leave me hanging for our
yeah,
appointment where we fight and I lose? Like,
yes.
it's so rude of you.
So he goes to Hal's house and it's decked out with all this stuff that he didn't have before. A really nice TV, speaker system, bars of gold, question mark. Where did you get all this stuff? It doesn't to me. He stole all of it. Being
I
a
see.
good guy is for losers. It's work, work, work 24/7. And for what? He only took the good girl, but it turns out Roxanne doesn't want anything to do with him.
Hmm. So, like, now what? I guess I'll just be bad. There's no such thing as a good. Nice guys always lose.
Nice guys always
Why?
finish
Why
last.
try? Nice guys always finish last. And Megamind's like, whoa, 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 hang on here, because like I was supposed to be like the bad guy, the villain, etc.
Mm-hmm.
But I never did all of this stuff just out of
Yeah.
outrage. What's
Mm-hmm.
your what's your problem? Oh
Mm-hmm.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. And he's like,
yeah.
"Wait, did you say Roxanne? Beg your pardon?" He's like, "Yeah, I saw her having dinner and making googly eyes at some intellectual dweeb."
Yeah. Bernard, because he like wears glasses. So
Uh-huh.
Hal's like, he's like stupid and ugly, probably, right? He's like probably a total loser and like not good enough for Roxanne, and I am, even though I have no money and no prospects and no personality. And
Met
yeah, so then Megamind is like, googly eyes at some intellectual dweeb. Oops.
I love the sound he
Oh
makes. He says,
no.
"Ooh."
Ooh.
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 So
Ooh.
Hal says to Titan says to Megamind, we need to team up. Let's do this. With my powers and your big headedness, we could rule the city. Like Megamind isn't already ruling the city. I'm like, what is your
Right.
bigger
He's
plan
like, I
here?
don't actually need you. Like, I've already done all that.
Yeah, and was
But
so good at it that I
he's
made.
he's similar to Megamind in the sense that he has this like vision but no plan. So he's like, we can rule the city
Yeah,
together, but it's like, what is in it for me if I'm already ruling the city to just bring you on and I don't even
yeah,
like you?
yes, 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 yes. Yeah. What's the
Yeah.
point? Mm-hmm.
What
Yeah.
what is the point?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah. And Megamind says, I can't believe you, all your powers, all your gifts, and you squander them over your own personal gain. And he goes, yes. He
He's
says,
like,
no,
no, but
I'm
you were supposed to be a hero.
yes, I'm the villain. I'm the bad guy. You come and get me. That's why I created you.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. And he says, I'm your space dad. You be my measurement. And he's like, oh no. And he's like, oh, that's not enough, is it? I'm also the intellectual dweeb dating Roxanne. Bing.
And he kills him 8 times.
He's like, no. He finally goads him into fighting him.
Mhm.
And the thing about Hal is he's strong. He has Metro Man's powers, but not really the control because Metro Man had these powers for decades. He could, he
Mhm.
had like microscopic control over all of them.
Yeah.
Hal has no. I watched a really, really good YouTube video today that with great power comes no responsibility about Hal being a really good villain. I know that's what I said. I was like, oh my
Cool.
goodness. So like I wrote this down too. Is this movie is what happens if Lex Luthor kills Superman, but also what happens if Superman had no kryptonite
Right.
and didn't
Right.
care?
So there's
What happened if he
nothing
didn't
holding him
care?
back. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. And it's super scary for two reasons. We have Metro Man. What if Superman didn't care? And Hal, what if Superman had no weakness and no responsibility?
Hmm.
He doesn't care. He is just blasting through buildings like nobody's business. We saw, at least with the one building at the one battle at the beginning, Megamind was his lairs on the outskirts of town. He drew Metro Man to the abandoned observatory. There was nobody around. It was a remote battle.
Right. Right.
No one was
And it's
at risk
just
of
for
getting
them.
hurt.
It's just the theater of it, but it's like watching any
Mhm.
superhero movie where they like obliterate New York City 16
Yeah.
times per movie. Like, why? Why? People live there.
Yeah, yeah. There's no casualties, but in the fight with Hal and Megamind, it's like, oh my gosh, people are
People are
dying.
actually getting hurt and dying
Yeah,
because
like
this
Hal
guy's
knocks over
reckless.
a gas tank truck,
Hmm.
and it explodes, and the driver died. It's
Yeah.
like, oh no, yeah, because he doesn't care.
Hmm.
He's reckless and angry, not in a playful way. Megamind's trying to get him to do this is time for some witty back and forth banter. You go first, and he's just screaming, and it's funny.
And that is
Megamind's
funny.
like, I'm not sure where to go with that, but it's like it's still a game to Megamind at this point.
Hmm.
It's not for Hal. And so Hal beats him. He knocks Megamind's big robot suit down to the ground. That's the Black Mamba, by the way. It's a robot suit. He's inside the robot, and his actions control the big robot.
Right.
Good, 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 good.
Hmm.
Yeah. So Hal
Just like Minion, except Minion doesn't have those
big.
limbs
Yes, yes, yes. He just
and
has
big too.
head.
And big.
Yeah. So Hal knocks Megamind down to the ground, and he's like, this is for stealing my girlfriend. This is for space dad making a fool out of me. And this I'm gonna say it. This one's actually my favorite line in the movie. Megamind, this one's for space stepmom. You lied to her.
Yeah, totally.
Because he's stupid.
because he's so stupid. He's like, oh, Megamind has this fish on a body, and so does my space dad. That's so weird. Megamind reveals himself as Space Dad. What? You lied to her! Yeah, man. He's a liar.
Where have you been?
Ooh.
Anyway, so Megamind's like, "Yay, take me to jail now. That was a lot of fun." And Hal's like, "No, I'm going to kill you. Capital K. I'm going to kill you for real, on purpose.
hmm
Right here,
hmm
right now." And Megamind's like, "Huh? But that's not how
No,
you
but
play
that's
the
not.
game."
You're just supposed to defeat me, like, briefly.
Hmm.
And then I
Yeah.
come back, and then.
Hmm.
And yeah, I was like, I'm gonna tear you apart. I'm evil.
And Megamind, whose best friend is Minion, and Minion loves him so much, and his sole purpose in life is to look after him. And he
hmm
included an emergency escape in the robot, so Megamind is able to escape, gets the brain bots to initiate the failsafe, which is a sphere of copper. So they
Yes.
trap Hal in the sphere of copper, and Megamind's like, Buster Brown. And I like that. I think we should be saying that more. Guess what, Buster Brown? It's made of copper. It's Metro Man's weakness.
Your
That's
weakness.
why he died. Hal busts through it, no problem. He
Uh-oh.
says, "You need to stop comparing me to Metro Man," and then throws the copper ball at Megamind. But everyone is like, "Yay, we're
Uh-oh.
saved, we're freed." And
And
Hal
he's like,
says,
no, 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 no. That's where you're wrong. I'm
Stay.
going to kill you.
This is the thing that's so scary about him is he's the I saw a really good, I can't remember if it was a YouTube comment or a letterbox review, but someone was saying this is why people say that Gaston is the scariest Disney villain, is because
Because he's like closest
everybody
to
knows that
reality.
guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, everybody knows a guy that's full of himself, but gets a pass because he's attractive or rich or whatever.
right.
Everybody knows a guy who is like the nice guy, the incel who feels entitled to a relationship with somebody just because he thinks,
He liked her.
yeah.
hmm
And, people say, like, oh, he's harmless, he doesn't mean anything by it.
Right,
The,
right. The boy at school just pulled on your hair because he likes you. It's actually a
yes.
compliment. You're like, ooh, ruh-roh.
Hmm.
People who like me should treat me nicely.
Yeah. Also unrelated,
Yeah.
but the Pope got picked this week, and my
Yeah. He's
Catholic
from
friend Noah,
Chicago.
he's Bob from Chicago. Okay. And my
Okay.
friend Noah texted our group chat. He's Catholic. He's very Catholic. He's capital C Catholic.
hmm
And he texted in the group chat. He's like, Leo is his regnant name. And I said, that's like if Scooby Doo was trying to say the word pregnant. And I thought that was pretty funny. And Jen came up to the front. She was in the back for something. She came up to the front. She's like, "What the hell does this mean?" I was like, "Retro, I'm regnant."
Yeah. And she
And
was like, I'm gonna kill you 8 times.
yeah, but
That's
it
his
made me
regnant
laugh.
name. That's funny. He actually named
So
himself after your cat.
I know that's crazy. I didn't even know he knew him.
Yeah, not a lot of people know that.
Oh, yeah. Um, to all of our viewers, this is the Pope actually. This guy right here.
Yeah, Pope
That's
Leo.
him. So the movie Megamind.
I've heard of it.
Um, have you? Good. This good. Okay, excellent. Many more people
I know
should.
like the characters and stuff, so you don't have to do all that part. I've got that.
We're good. Okay, well,
Yeah.
great. I'll just jump right into the third act. Um,
Great.
this one's for Space Stepmom. You lied to her.
So stupid.
So
Oh
dumb.
man.
So dumb. Um, so now Megamind goes to Roxanne because, quote, "You're the smartest person I know." He respects her so much, and she's still
Yay.
very mad at
As a
him
person.
as a person. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But he's like, "You." we're besties with Metro Man. Where can we go to look for answers? Because the copper that was his weakness did not work on this guy, and I don't know what to do now. But
Hmm.
Titan is like for real destroying the city, way more than Megamind ever did before. He's using laser
Yep.
vision. He's blowing crap up. Um, and so they go to Megamind and Metro Man's old shul house, which he has put over onto an old cliff. It's beautiful and lovely, and they go inside, and there's a glass of ice water on the table.
It's weird. Like,
I love this
hmm.
part too because Megamind's like he's yeah, no, that's ice. That's what happens when water gets cold. He's like tries to explain it.
Yeah. He's really,
Yeah.
he's like, there has to be a reason. Everything happens for a reason. That's kind of his mentality. Well, it's because the water got cold, and then, well, no. It's because, hmm. For whatever reason you can try to think of, something's not adding up here.
Yeah. He kind of shrugs. He's like, one of life's great mysteries, I guess. I don't know. And then behind them, the floor creaks, and they turn around to see Metro Man in a bathrobe and a beard.
Uh-huh. Good for him. And he's like,
Hi. And they all scream, and that's really funny. He's alive. He
he's
didn't really
alive.
die.
He's
Yeah,
been there the whole time,
whole
samurai style.
time. Yeah, yeah.
Crazy.
So he explains to them that he didn't really die that day. He was just exhausted from playing this role, from living up to the
Hmm.
expectations.
He's burnt out.
He was burnt out. He was tired, and so he
Mhm.
faked his death. He's not really dead, but now he can't. They know he's alive, but he can't come back because then he's
Because
stuck in the
everyone
role
else knows that
again.
he's dead, and then he has to do the whole thing forever.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, okay. He's tired.
Yeah.
And he discovered his true power is weaving lyrical magic.
Yeah. And
He
is it
rebrands. Is it? This is another one of my favorite lines. He plays so terribly. And Megamind's like, I, I mean, granted you have talent, but damn it, man, we need your help. The split second of Roxanne going, huh? You have talent? He's so sincere about it. He's like, you are really good, but
Yeah. She's like,
it's just
I don't think we were listening to the same song.
and one of my I saw another theory of somebody saying I think the reason that Metro Man likes music so much is because he's not just naturally good at it. He has to really work at it. It's not
Mhm.
something that just comes easily
Like
to
one of the
him, like
only
flying.
things that has ever been that way. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And even at the beginning, when they were kids, we could see him playing the ukulele. Like he has always had a passion for this, but just never got the chance to explore it. At the beginning, he
Hmm.
said, "At the end of every day, I often ask myself, who would I be without you? Who could I be without this
Mm.
role that I'm expected to fill?"
Yeah.
And so now he's like, I'm a music man now, so I can keep my logo. Um,
But why would he need to keep the logo if everyone thinks he's
he's
dead?
dead. Exactly.
Oh, every character in this movie is so stupid, except for Roxanne.
They, except for
She's smart for
Roxanne.
real.
Yeah, yeah. She, except for she went out with a guy who said to her on the phone, "I'm just yelling at my mother's urn," and she still kept hanging out with him.
Right. But she's like, that's just his dark humor.
So the movie's perfect, but Metro Man won't help,
Mhm.
and they leave. And Megamind's like, "Who am I kidding? I'm not the good guy. This is not my role either. I'm not supposed to do this. I give up. I'm the bad guy. I don't save the day. I don't fly off into the sunset, and I don't get the girl.
Mhm.
He's not entitled to her.
Mm-mm.
I don't. It's not my place." So he goes home. I'm going home. He goes to jail. He takes himself back to jail, which It's where he grew up because he was in jail as a baby. But also, this is the only home he's ever known. So, like, is it funny? Is it sad? It's both. It's so Roxanne is like, fine, I will go talk to Titan myself. I'm gonna try to stop him. This is the if no one else is going to do this, I'm gonna try to talk him down. Um, it does not work. She's like, she gets kidnapped from by him for real.
Hmm.
Uh, he's being really creepy and weird and aggressive,
Yeah.
and then he broadcast because he's a cameraman, so he has his camera and he broadcasts a message out to Megamind. He says,
Yeah.
"Megamind, you have 1 hour, or I'm going to kill this woman for real." So he's got her wrapped with a metal pipe around her on the top of Metro Tower, which is where
Yeah.
this woman ferociously ripped out my heart, and I hate reminders. So he tears half the building down. He's gonna knock it over.
Hmm.
Um,
And because
if
he's crazy.
he's crazy and evil, capital
Hmm.
E. No, Megamind is capital E evil. He's evil for fun. This guy's lowercase e evil. He's evil for real.
Evil for real. Oh, uh-huh. I
Yeah,
see. Yeah.
yeah. Like not a title. It's
It's like
in
for
his
real.
core. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. So Megamind's like, oh no, I need to leave. Warden, please, you have to let me out. I need to go save the city. I'm the only one who can. It's my fault. I have to take responsibility for this. And the warden is like, no, you have 88 life sentences, baby. I'm not letting you go anywhere. Um, you need to think about what you've done. And Megamind says, you're right. I'm responsible for this. This is my fault. No, but no one else should have to clean up my mess. No one else should
Hmm.
have to pay for my mistakes. The city shouldn't suffer because of me, for real.
Right.
And so he opens
Okay.
the door
Yay.
and he says, apology accepted. And he switches his watch, and it was Minion the whole time. It wasn't the warden.
Yeah.
Yay.
Minion came back because they're best friends.
They're best friends, ride or die. And that's what they say. Megamind said they're walking away, and the warden is tied up on the floor, and he's like, I'm so proud of you boys. Good luck. And
Yeah.
Megamind says, we're gonna die. And the warden says, yeah. And the warden is J.K.
Won't that be
Simmons.
nice?
Won't that be nice? This is the scene of all time in the movie of all time, and I think it should be playing on every wall of every building at all times, always. In addition to the movie being played in every theater, always, forever, for
Mhm.
$5.
For five
This scene,
dollars.
yeah.
Hmm.
Hal lands on the top of the building by Roxanne, and she says, "You, there's still good in you, Hal. Why are you doing this?" And he says, "You are so naive. You're so naive, Roxy. You see the good in everybody, even when it's not there. There is no tooth fairy. There is no
There is no Easter
and no
Bunny,
Queen
and there
Queen."
is no Queen of England. Which is so funny because at the time, girl, there actually was a Queen of England because England, unfortunately, is a real place.
She
And
lived for so long.
she was super, super old forever.
She was.
And then also, when she died, a lot of people screenshotted that scene and posted it to tell all their friends, oh, did you hear that Queen Elizabeth died? It was, there is no Easter
No
Bunny, there
Queen.
is no Tooth Fairy, and there is
There's no
no
Queen of
Queen of England. Oh, that's crazy. And she,
Yeah.
again, because Roxanne is like the only normal person in this movie, she's like, no, that's not correct.
um, but she doesn't even have time to correct him because
Hmm.
he says, "You need to wake up." And then there's guitar riff reverbs, and the building rights itself. And then there's smoke filling all the way around. And then we see 10,000 rainbots pouring up into the cloud of dark smoke. And we see just the outline of his giant blue head And he says, "You dare challenge Megamind?" The scene's just so perfect.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna be able to do it justice. I'm not even gonna be able to like take it from here.
I don't, oh, so much responsibility on me. Basically, he just, because he's like a showman, like he's a performer, and he's also like a little bad guy, but he like, he's not just rescuing Roxanne so that she doesn't die. It's that, but then it's also like everyone else has to see what's happening here and like be involved in the performance, the showmanship of it all. So it's like, all this is being broadcast, and he has literal smoke and mirrors and like a theme song
And
and all this
lasers.
stuff
There's
and
lasers.
lasers and his big old platform boots because he's a diva. And he's
Yeah.
like,
And Hal says, "There isn't enough room in this town for two supervillains." And it's like, okay,
he's like,
you're
I
a
know.
villain, all right, just not a super one. He's
Yeah.
like, "What's the difference?"
What's the difference? And he's like, idiot, stupid loser. You don't even have style. You don't even have finesse. It's crazy. Like this, it's like a head. There's a million lights in the sky that
Yeah.
form the shape of Megamind's head, and then his tongue comes out, and it's the red carpet that he can walk down with
With his platform boots,
his platform boots.
his custom baby seal leather boots. And he
Oh.
says, "Presentation."
And
I'm like
basically, that's the
shaking.
movie.
I'm throwing up. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Why did
Uh,
we even keep making movies?
I
Yeah.
don't
So Megamind
know.
said you're a lame loser and nobody even likes
Hmm.
you.
And you don't even have style, and you don't even have drip, and everyone thinks you're kind of ugly.
Yeah. No
And they're
bitches.
right. Mm,
Mm-hmm.
wonder why.
Hmm. But and on top of that, not only is it the sickest, most insane burn anyone's ever experienced, and the only reason that Hal survived is because he does have immortality, basically. He cannot be killed.
Hmm.
Anyone else would have been obliterated.
Just from
No.
the sheer force of like, I don't have good presentation. And then each of their cells, like parts, they just become dust. I love movies.
It's so good. But so not only is it like a sick own, but also it's a strategy. He's a
Mhm.
showman, so he gets Hal angry enough to charge at him, and then the brain bots all. So he flies into Megamind's big robot mouth, and
Of course.
he's like, because he's a robot. They're robots, but it looks like Megamind's chewing on him in his mouth, and Megamind drops out of the sky to the hover motorcycle that's waiting down below. So it was a
Of course.
plan.
Mhm.
He knows how to fight against somebody who's 10 billion times stronger than he is.
Yeah.
So he
With
gets
his wit.
Roxanne off the
Mhm.
building. Yes. Yay. Um he gets her off the building and on his hover coaster uh motorcycle thing, and they're going, but then Hal bursts out of the brainbot head, and all the brainbots are okay. You can see them,
Mhm.
they're falling, but then they catch themselves. None of them are that it's okay. Like the thing in India where they say no animals were harmed during the scene. It's all CGI. We should get like a little. All the brain bots are fine.
It's okay.
Yeah.
This is also CGI. Because the whole thing is an animated movie.
Thankfully, yeah.
Mhm.
So Hal takes Titan. Oh my gosh! Wait. Okay. Yeah, Titan. So when
With a
Roxanne goes to talk to
GH,
him
by the way.
with a GH, when Roxanne goes to talk to him the first time, he's up in the sky using his laser vision to write his name out in the city down below. This is the first reveal that
That he doesn't know
he's
how to
been
spell.
saying Titan the whole time, not Titan. This
Yeah.
is what he has heard. He's so dumb. He's so dumb. And now he's immortalized that forever in the carnage of the buildings. Wow, funny. Um, so Titan takes the big building and throws it at Megamind and Roxanne, and they just barely escape, but Megamind is kind of impaled by the building, and Roxanne is like, "Oh no!" And Hal throws a bus at her, and just before it hits her, it's Metro Man.
Yay! He changed his mind and came back to save the
He did.
day.
Yay, that's so nice of him. And he says, "Please, let's have a little respect for public transportation."
Based.
Based. Based.
Wow. Based, based,
Based,
based,
based,
based,
based,
based,
based. So
based.
good. And Roxanne says, "Oh my gosh, you came back." And he says, "You were right, Roxanne. I never should have left." Okay, that's fine. Um, and Hal's like, panicking because he's a cringe little baby boy. He's
Yeah.
pathetic and sad and
Yeah.
has no spine. And so Metro Man is
Mhm.
chasing him around, and he's going somewhere besides jail.
Besides
And
jail.
he's having so much
He's so
fun.
happy because his friend is back to do the like superhero banter thing and everything's
Yeah.
working. Yay!
Yay. But now we have to go check on Megamind. So Roxanne runs over to Megamind. She's like, "I'm so proud of you. You did so well. Thank you so much." And he's like, jink jink. It's a watch. It was Minion the whole time.
And Minion is just a fish in a bowl. So it's okay.
This is
It's
robot body,
fine.
baby. And he says he's the real hero. This is
Because
dink.
he's a fish.
He's yeah. Awesome. Um, but wait, he's the real hero. Who's that mean? That's that's Megamind. That's not Metro Man. That's Megamind.
Whoa, that's Megamind. And
And
it's like,
he can do such.
and he
Oh, go
tricked
ahead.
Hal into being so
Yeah.
afraid because Metro Man was back, when really he should
Mhm.
have been afraid the whole time because he's a non-intellectual dweeb.
Yeah.
Yay. Got him.
um, and Roxanne's performance too convinced Hal. It's not like, "What? You're alive?" It's like, "Oh, she knew that he was alive and he came back." So, oh my
Mhm.
gosh, his
It
death
must be for
was greatly
her.
exaggerated.
His death was
This
completely exaggerated.
this guy's for real. Um,
Hmm.
and so Metro Man snatches Hal out of the air and says, um,
I'm gonna kill you for real. No. Nightmare, nightmare, nightmare. No, that's how it really happened.
no. He says, "If you know what's good for you, Titan, you'll stay out of Metrocity for good." And Hal's like, "Okay, bye." So Megamind comes back to Roxanne and she changes his watch, and it's Megamind for real. But then she smiles bigger, and he's like, "Oh, she's glad to see me. Me,
Me.
not Bernard. Me." Yeah. And then Hal comes back and he's like, "Pretty sneaky, sis, because of several things." Hal knew because Megamind had showed him earlier that he's able to change his appearance.
Hmm.
If he hadn't done that, that would have worked.
That could have
He would have,
worked.
yeah.
But he had already given himself away as Space Dad. Uh-oh.
Yeah. So Hal's back, um, because everybody thinks it's really funny to pick on the cool guy. And now we are pretty much back to the beginning of the movie. Hal throws Megamind up into the air after he finds the diffuser gun in the backseat of the invisible car, and it takes a minute to warm up, which is very funny. Very
Mhm.
funny, very good film, movies, cinema. Um, and he's falling through the air. He's like, I could just chalk this up to my last glorious failure. I just want today, baby. So he takes his dehydration gun. He shoots himself. He lands in the fountain where Roxanne is running from Titan, who's going to kill her. He's going to laser
He's
vision her
gonna
to
kill her for
death.
real.
Yeah, because
Like
he's a
in real life.
bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Megamind's little dehydration cube lands in the water. He springs back up. He catches the diffuser gun. He defuses the DNA out of Hal, who lays there on the ground, pathetic and
Hmm.
empty. Also, fun little detail is when he gets powers, his hair shrinks up to be all curly, and then when he defuses his powers, his hair goes back to being straight. And I just think that's funny.
That's funny.
It's
Because that's
good.
the power of curly hair. They didn't do the makeover thing where somebody with curly hair gets straight hair.
Mm-mm-mm.
Because that's
Nope.
evil.
Mhm. Yes.
It's actually sick and twisted to do that kind of thing.
Yeah, they should be put down like dogs.
Hmm.
Hmm. Yeah, but
They
they
should be
don't do that
replaced
here.
with dogs because dogs are better
Yeah,
to work with. Yay!
yes, they are. That is true. That's true
Hmm.
and real. Megamind wins, and everybody comes out of the surrounding buildings to be like, "Yay! Yay! We won! We won!" Um, and then he panics. He says, "Stay back, you savages!" He goes to shoot them with his gun, and Roxanne says, "I'm sorry, sorry. He's fine. He's just not used to positive feedback."
Yeah.
And now tell me that's not the funniest thing you've ever heard in your life. He's
Yeah.
just not used to positive
Positive
feedback.
feedback.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
that's good. That's pretty good. It's
Okay.
pretty good. Oh, the other thing that I really like too is Minion is a fish in a bowl, but his bowl has been cracked, and so
Yeah.
he's drying out. And him
Yeah.
and Megamind have this like back and forth together where he's like, "We've had a lot of adventures together, you and I." And
Yeah.
he's like dying, and Megamind's
He's
like
about
very
to die.
concerned. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then at the end, he just flips him into the fountain, and he's like,
Easy.
"Oh my gosh, he's so dramatic." And I just like that because best friends commit to each other's bits.
Hmm.
He's like,
Hmm.
he's playing dead. I will play along. I'm not gonna be like, come on, dude, for real. He's like, I'm so proud of you, Minion. Because that's just what
Hmm.
a best friend
They're
does.
both gulping back tears.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh, and then at the end, he gets an entire museum dedicated to him. And I just think that's funny because
Yay!
Metro Man, it is good for him. But Metro Man worked there for like 20 years, and it
Yeah.
took him 20 years to get a statue of him.
Yeah.
Mega
Mega
Man
Man
got
was
it
there for like
after one.
an hour.
Yeah, solving a problem that he caused.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do think that's funny
Well,
and
that's
good.
how a lot of people become great, though. Invent a problem, invent the solution to the problem. Just saying.
That's true. That's true.
Hmm.
Like women's razors. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
men's razors. Bring back the beard.
Anyway, I just think it's the bestest movie of all time, and there's a lot more to it, but I just can't even think of anything because I just want to watch it again.
Yeah. So everybody go watch this movie. Yay!
Yeah. I feel like with our favorite movies that we've done here, we do less analysis and more just
We're just talking about it, just kind
pointing
of
at it.
gushing. Yeah.
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 Like we did the same thing with
Yeah.
RRR. It's just like, and then this thing
Yeah.
happens, and then
That's
this
true,
thing
which is
happens.
crazy because it did take us a full month of it. Like it was 4 different episodes for that. And we're basically just like, movie.
Yeah, that's what we're paid to do.
Hmm.
This was a lot of fun, and it was good to see you
Yeah.
again after all these years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I was
How's the
gonna say,
family?
oh, they're fine. You know, you just saw one of them. Um,
Yeah.
I was gonna ask. Oh
He
wait,
became the Pope, I heard. That's incredible. At such a young age, too.
there's other. You know, just like 14 months old.
Yeah.
I was gonna tell you too. My brother's wedding is at the end of the month. And the invitations say no plus ones, but if you wanted to, I'm inviting you. So you could be a plus one if you wanted.
Suck it, Neil. No plus ones, except for me.